What other New World though? The Bishop Grady, man, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report, man. Shame on the motherfucking United States of America. You talking about the U.S. becoming supposed to be one of the most powerful countries in the world, but becoming first in the number of dead from the coronavirus disease outbreak, COVID-19, with over 22,000 deaths. Surpassed Italy. I've been telling y'all about Italy day to day on how crazy it's been going on over here, and look where the fuck we at now, man. So, and that's assuming it wasn't done deliberately. And if you've been following, you already know what's happening anyway. And keep following me, and you'll learn what's going on. We are at 500,000 cases, coronavirus confirmed cases, is believed to be a lot higher. Over 22,000 deaths, like I told y'all. Globally, 1.8 million confirmed cases and over 115,000 deaths. People are worried, obviously, and you have for the first time in U.S. history, there's been a disaster declaration signed by all 50 states, where Trump tweeted, for the first time in history, we have a fully signed presidential declaration, disaster declaration for all 50 states. We are winning, and we will win the war with the invisible enemy. Now, I don't know what's going to happen after this, you know what I mean? I don't know who's going to see this and from how long from now, but yeah, at this point, I personally just don't know what the fuck is going to go down. But I know one thing, don't that sound like some bullshit? Just that tweet alone, just them words, don't that sound like some bullshit? Green Wall and graduation. Streets reporter of the New World, though, the Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. It's a little dark out here, whatever, but as long as I can hear what I'm saying out this mug, you feel me? Like, shit is real on the field, and shame on the U.S. again for how they've handled this coronavirus situation, assuming they ain't do it deliberately. Now, you're talking about, right now, it is a scare about nursing homes across the country. 2,200 deaths due to COVID-19 have been linked to, have been reported throughout the country, and you know, people feel like that number is going to be a lot higher in certain deaths they're not counting apparently, but over in New York, this is the U.S. epicenter of this shit. 104,000 total confirmed cases of coronavirus after like they had 6,000 in the past day. You'll have 9,300 deaths in total. Sunday was the 6th straight day that they had over 700 people die from it in a single day. So people are certainly worried over there, and that's where we at with it. Green Wall and graduation. Streets report of the New World, though, the Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So in the United States, again, shame on the U.S. for having the most coronavirus deaths in the world, but nevertheless, while motherfuckers is worried about that in the U.S., you still got natural disasters going down. We still got to think about the environment. Dozens of tornadoes have actually run through the South, including in states like Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Georgia. 14 people have died from these extreme weather conditions or whatever. So, you know, let's not forget about the environment and lose our fucking brains, shit out our brains, and trying to deal with this Rona because we're so scared to death, and we forget that we got to take care of this earth, and hopefully this earth will take better care of us. You get what I'm saying? Green Wall and graduation. What other New World, the Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. Had to bring it indoors. Report of the New World, the Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So the Trump administration, even as it's working to send direct aid and to like farmers and ranchers, they actually are now trying to slash the pay of migrant farmers. Like 250,000 foreign guest laborers are actually going to have their pay lowered due to this plan written up and carried out by White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows and the Department of Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue. Now, this is happening while at the same time these workers are labeled essential workers in this coronavirus pandemic. So it's a weird battle to fight. You know what I'm saying? I think it's other battles that it seems that need to be hit, right? But I don't know. How do y'all feel about that? Green Wall and graduation. New World, though, the Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So the USPS, a lot of us color folks, we got people working there, right? You know what I mean? The United States Postal Service, they actually pleading to Congress to actually give them $89 billion for a bailout, essentially. This is actually coming after the Trump administration pretty much blocked a federal grant, a $13 billion federal grant that was people were fighting for to get them to out of that $2.2 trillion coronavirus economic relief package. But that was blocked, and they instead offered them a $10 billion loan. Postmaster General Megan Brenner said that's not enough to keep the mail from being disrupted by the fall. And you got to keep in mind though, these upcoming elections in November for the president of the United States. I mean, a lot of people are going to be trying to mail those votes in. So hopefully, it would seem like this is essential business, right? Green Wall graduation. The New World Order Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, they actually released over 200 non-violent prisoners over this past week after they had these judges basically had their first round of like emergency hearings aimed at reducing the prison population amid this COVID-19 outbreak. So it's like people are really scared to death in these prisons. If you got one person having it or whatever, you got people always coming in and out of jail, and people just all closely, tightly packed on top of each other. You know what I'm saying? 4 people to a QB. You know what I'm saying? Like 2 people to a bunk. I know how that shit go, man. Like at the end of the day, people are scared to death about that shit. So it's good that it's actually moving in that direction. Protesters have been going for that though ever since the outbreak even started. Ever since the lockdown started and all of that. We had hundreds of cars though that were like circling around the Philly jails at this like Free Our People rally, pretty much. So calling for that to basically continue and at a higher rate. Green Wall and graduation. The New World Order Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So like I've been telling y'all how these the prison population is actually afraid of this COVID-19 outbreak, especially since they're in these close quarters and there's so many people coming in and out of these jails. Well, the same goes for immigrants or whatever, and they probably feel even more afraid since they're in a country that they're not from. Nevertheless, in Arizona, you had a 700-person car rally that was outside of these at the privately owned Eloy Detention Center and the La Palma Correctional Facility near Phoenix, basically demanding the immediate release of all migrant prisoners. All of these people in these immigration jails. There were actually reported last week in Arizona 5 COVID-19 confirmed cases across all of these immigration jails in Arizona. Whatever, 2 of them will be in La Palma, and the activists are saying that it's actually a lot higher. Also, over in Otay Mesa Detention Center in San Diego, Cali, they had a crazy situation. This center is owned by Core Civic, private prison making company that basically had sent the prisoners surgical masks, but had them sign a contract, and was trying to force them to sign a contract in order to take the mask that remove any liability of Core Civic if they got sick. The women refused to do so, and apparently ICE agents began pepper spraying them. So it was a rally this past Saturday around that. So shit is real on the immigration field. Green Wall and graduation. So the New World Order Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So you're seeing this explosion of infections of COVID-19 that are actually taking place in these like meat processing plants throughout the country. For example, in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, at this Smithfield Foods pork processing plant, you actually had 240 workers test positive for COVID-19. They shut down the plant. 240. That represents like almost half of the entire state total coronavirus infections. Then over in PA at this Cargill Meat Solutions plant, you actually had 130 workers testing positive for COVID-19. Another spot in PA, you had a JBS beef slaughterhouse where a union steward actually died from contracting coronavirus. And that's not even the first death. There's actually a couple other deaths of people in slaughterhouses in Georgia and Colorado. Is it something in the meat? Green Wall graduation. The World Order Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So y'all remember that USS Theodore Roosevelt that was out there in Guam, the United States territory out in the Pacific Ocean. Remember that Captain Brett Crozier actually wanted to, sent the memo out to Navy officials trying to get that, trying to basically say like, we don't have to die on this ship. After people started contracting COVID-19 on the ship. Remember how former acting Secretary of the Navy, Tom Modly, who basically called him, like, said he was like too naive or too stupid or whatever to manage that situation. Then referring to Brett Crozier, the captain that penned that memo. Remember all of that shit? Well, it turns out that over 600 sailors, 600 sailors on the boat actually tested positive for having COVID-19. So Brett Crozier wasn't on no detachments, you know what I'm saying? He really was trying to say these people were pyramiding. That's a lot of cases, so Green Warren graduation. In the world, though, the Bishop Grady let y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black House News report. So on Sunday, a federal judge actually ruled that Alabama cannot ban abortions during the coronavirus pandemic. Now, Alabama, and there's a few other states too, like trying to basically get rid of abortion and labeling it as non-essential, which I think is interesting since it's something that is very like time sensitive. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't make sense to get rid of that, but nevertheless, you have over in Texas, you have abortion providers. Texas being one of the places where they did do that at. You have abortion providers that are actually pleading with the Supreme Court of the United States, SCOTUS, for basically allowing them to have medical abortions. These are abortions that where you can you don't have to do anything physical or whatever, but you can abort a fetus by taking a pill. So, Green War and graduation. So the New World Order Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black House News report. So, Rona been going crazy in Europe already. You know what I'm saying? And you even got snatched up Boris Johnson. This is the Prime Minister of Britain, y'all. But he actually came out of the hospital finally on Sunday and wanted to thank the National Health Service for his recovery. Ironically, criticism has been against Johnson and his government on how they've handled the COVID-19 outbreak, including getting the proper PPE to NHS workers. Nevertheless, Britain is at like 10,000 for a death toll, and people suspect that they'll actually be number one in fatalities in Europe when it's said and done. Right now, the country that holds that title is Italy, with 20,000 deaths, only second to the United States globally. And Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte actually extended their lockdown to May 3rd. It was initially supposed to end today. Over in Spain, they had like 17,000 deaths due to COVID-19, and while they have seen some drops, they saw a spike, an increase in death tolls on the weekend, but yesterday it dropped back to 517. And then in Russia, they actually they're seeing a spike in Moscow, in the capital. In Russia, in total, their death toll is at 100. Green War and graduation. The world, though, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. More on how the world is reverberating to this COVID-19 outbreak. Over in China, they actually saw 100 new cases, the most they've actually ever seen this month, really. The most in over a month. So, and then keep in mind, China is the initial epicenter of the COVID-19, specifically the Hubei province that's had lockdowns lifted recently. So people are in fear of a second wave of COVID-19, but they're thinking this is like basically imported sickness or whatever from the Chinese people who had come in, traveled and came back home due to the virus outbreak. Over in Brazil, you actually had a Yanomami team. These are like indigenous tribes or whatever. This teenager actually died from COVID-19. The second indigenous person to actually pass from COVID-19. People are fearing that it's coming from like the gold miners out there, whatever, in the Amazon of Brazil. And the leaders are saying that, as well as there's just fear that it's like, how is it getting out to the indigenous communities when the indigenous communities are like, they typically separate themselves. But Green War and graduation. Out in the world, though, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So they have been studying chloroquine in Brazil. Chloroquine is a drug that fights malaria, and hydroxychloroquine, the derivative of it, is what Trump has basically been promoting. Trump in the United States, right? The celebrity in chief. He's actually been promoting it as like something that could be used to help with COVID-19. So in Brazil, they had this study, but they actually had to stop the study after 81 coronavirus infected participants had actually, out of 81 of them had participated, 11 of them died. And others actually had irregular heart rate, increasing the potential of arrhythmia, which is actually fatal. So that's just a very interesting turn of events. I know one time I heard Dr. Oz, even speaking with the Breakfast Club and Charlamagne the God, talking about how it actually is it's no reason it should really do anything because of how it fights malaria. Like should be fine for it, but the trials aren't done, and the people got to leave it like that. Don't go jumping out your window for a drug trying to heal yourself. That I would say the best thing you could do before you even get to where you might be infected or whatever, eat fruits and vegetables, y'all. Exercise. Y'all gotta really like take care of your bodies how you were supposed to be doing in the first place. Real War Graduation Report of the New World Order. Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. More on how the world is responding to this COVID-19 pandemic. Over in Syria, you actually have thousands of Syrians returning to their homes. Keep in mind that 1 million Syrians have actually been displaced from all of the fighting that's been going on in the Idlib province with the Syrian government backed by Russia and all of that, and then these rebel forces. Right now there's a ceasefire due to the coronavirus pandemic. Over in now switching to Africa, you got the Democratic Republic of Congo actually reported 2 new Ebola cases. Now they have to deal with Ebola. They were just days away from saying from announcing the end of the Ebola outbreak. This is a fatal disease, y'all. But I did tell y'all that they do actually have a 90% cure rate now with the medicine that they have over there. But still, shit is crazy where they're dealing with that, the measles outbreak, and with the COVID-19, for which they have 235 cases total reported and 20 deaths. But people think that those numbers are far higher. Green War gradually. Well, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. More on how the world is getting shaken up by coronavirus disease 2019, that pandemic. Over in Liberia, on Saturday, they actually went into a lockdown of the 1 million people in Monrovia. You have police in riot gear, like with truncheons and sticks, beating people that were in the streets, trying to get people off the streets to enforce the lockdown. Switching up though, as far as OPEC, OPEC, Russia, and other oil producing companies actually came to an agreement to actually decrease their oil production by 10 million gallons per day. It's basically 10% of the global supply. But and hoping to basically get prices to come back up. That since the market has been crashing due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the price war going on between Saudi Arabia and Russia, but people feel like it's not going to be enough since they're basically already still way far past the demand as far as supply. And Canada, they actually put a $52 billion bill out to